Hey. I'm your humble host, Phizzedmusic, and this right here is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance after this video, take your little cell phone over to YouTube, or if you're watching this on YouTube after the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Phizzedmusic, Urban Politics. But without further ado, I want to jump right into it like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics to sink our teeth into. You can, lick your fingers with this politics is out here, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. First of all, let's talk about student loans. Some of y'all care, some of y'all don't. Most of y'all do because most of y'all are still paying them, just like me. Anyway, student loans. Biden said he will cancel the student loans of 78,000 people working as teachers, nurses, firefighters, and in public service jobs. Sounds good. I've heard of programs like this before, and for years I always thought to myself, well, for 30 plus years, all I've done is worked with kids, and a lot of that was in social service and also working with kids with disabilities and stuff like that. So I'm like, shouldn't I get some of my, menial college loans forgiven? There's that, right? But I found out. Let me just go ahead, set it all the way up from watching, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. He did a deep dive on student loans and some of these programs. Now, this program that I'm talking about, it does exist, but one, it's almost impossible to get into, and then two, when you get into it, you still might get screwed. Excuse my language, it's a family show. You still might get screwed and still not get your loans forgiven because, he had talked about how there was a lady who was in this program. She had did like maybe I think 9 years of service in the armed forces, so that was her civil service. So her student loan should have been forgiven. On the ninth year, they told her that she had only been credited for 1 year. Then her case had been up for review for 3 years, and she said at the end of the day, it just stayed in review and it was never resolved, and she was still paying on it. So see, that's what's going on here, man. It's a whole lot of madness, you know what I'm saying? Really just outright thievery, right? You know what I'm saying? Here they got a program where they promise to forgive people's loans, they're not forgiving them. And then they talked about how, I mean, literally not even a handful of people have benefited from these government loans. That is so sad. It's sad, but if you are like me, we all, have our own, college loan story. And that's sad. But that lets you know that it goes way deeper than what we even know. Because when he's talking about some of this stuff, I was blown away to know. But, I do know people who are paying like, $3,000-$4,000 a month in student loans. That's ridiculous. How can you do that and sustain a lifestyle? You can't. You would have to choose either between paying bills or paying your college loans. Ergo, you'd probably be paying bills, right? Anyway, that is what it is. So that's something, what I'm saying, to let roll around in your little noodle when you think about it. I'm taking look. I had told a friend of mine years ago. I worked with a guy. I was probably in my 30s at the time. He was like 28 or something like that. He told me, he said, "Man, the best thing." I think I've even told this story on this show. He said the best thing I ever did was not go to college. And I said, "Wow, why you say that?" And he said, "Because I have a lot of friends who went to college and now they out. They got these degrees and they paying off these student loans and they're jobless just like me. They're working anywhere they can just to get by, just like me. That degree don't mean nothing." Now I say that not to poo-poo college, right? Whole lot of young brothers and sisters in college, they get nice big degrees. Right now, that still fares well, right? If you can get that going, that's still a good thing. I don't want to poo-poo college, but it does seem like in a minute here it's going to be something that's kind of outdated. But what that young man said to me was interesting because that's some debt that he's just not crippled with, right? Because like he told me, he just never went to college. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, I want to talk about long life, right? Now some people say that, what I'm saying, life is hell. So they don't want a long life. They want this life to be over real, real quick. But for most of us, I laugh. I laugh to keep from crying about that fact. But my point is, for most of us, what I'm saying, we got kids, we got grandkids, what I'm saying, the Lord has blessed us or whatnot. We would like some long life, right? So people who have the longest or some of the longest living people in the world abide by the power of nine. Maybe you've heard of it. I had never heard of it. The power of nine. So, number one, move naturally. It said move naturally. You ain't got to change nothing. They was like, you could just try and get some exercise in it, maybe where you work, or just make sure to get a couple of minutes of exercise in during the day or something. But move naturally. Do everything you would do regularly. You know what I'm saying? Talk to your kids, visit your kids, visit your grandkids. You know, be with your spouse, be with your wife, be with your significant other, be with your friends. All of that good stuff. Move naturally. They also say yes to happy hour. Now look, I've worked in social service all my life, right? And even where I work right now, you know, we talk about coping skills. And when they ask me, I'm straight up with them, ladies and gentlemen. My coping skills is 2 shots of something real, real strong and an IPA to wash it down. Now, that's just me. Now, I understand people have issues with alcohol. So everything ain't for everybody. But when it comes to me, you know what I'm saying? Cups with the ice, and we do this every night. That's a quote from Ray Schwimmer. And that's how I get down, ladies and gentlemen. But that is my coping skills. You know what I'm saying? My job is hard. I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying, kids on the spectrum all day, highly aggressive kids on the spectrum all day. At night, sometimes I need something that helps get rid of the memories of that day. Oh well. But that's fine. That's my coping mechanism. And that's what they said. Hey, say yes to happy hour. They were talking about how I think it is in Greece that they were saying that these men are extremely serious about that happy hour. Come 5 o'clock, they don't care what's going on. You shut it down, and we're gonna have a cocktail or two because we gotta unwind, we gotta relax. Makes people better workers, actually. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, give your diet a plant slant. Now, I need to be better about this, ladies and gentlemen. And right there, that says it all, man. But get some fruits and veggies up in there. Really get them veggies up in there. You know, come on now, get some greens in your diet. A lot of us, myself included, are guilty of just meats and cheeses because that's what we like. That's what I like, meats and cheeses. Maybe some lettuce on a burger or on a sandwich. That's garbage, ladies and gentlemen. It's terrible. We should not be eating a lot of meat. As I talk to you and talk to myself, we should not be eating a lot of meat. We should be eating more vegetables than anything. And we also need to get into fruits. And that's what's up, ladies and gentlemen. So give your diet a plant slant. Amen. Find your crew. This right here is interesting because now find your crew. Sometimes you may have different crews. I do. I probably have almost 3 different groups of friends I hang out with, right? I got people that I've done music with back in the day because I did music real heavy when I was younger. Then I have people who are just like some older cats. A friend, you know what I'm saying? A friend of mine, I can go and say his name, my man John. He watches the show. What up, John? Him, you know what I'm saying, and him and his buddies, I've hung out around them. These brothers are a little bit older than me, so they were kind of like big brothers, and I could hear their stories and ask them questions about things, and they were able to give me guidance. So that's another crew that I had. You know what I'm saying? I have a kind of a school crew, and what I mean by that is, okay, so me and my brother have done music together, right? But we also went to Bishop Hartley, right? Went to Catholic high school. I got some other brothers who also watch the show. My man Brad, what up, Brad? He he went to St. Charles. So we also, that's a group chat down there. Some of those cats who you know, they went to like Catholic school and other stuff like that, you know, with me, and I'm connected through some of them. So these are 3 distinctly different groups of people that I hang out with. But I get something from all 3 groups. You know, you know what I'm saying? My older boys, you know what I'm saying? John and them, like I said, I look up to them. I was able to ask them questions about life, get good guidance stuff. My music friends, you know what I'm saying? My brother Hakeem, come on. My man Giggles, these are my brothers. We've done music together. And when you've done music together, my other dude, Alvy, he said this to me too, because years ago, now I'm on a tangent, but I got to be on a tangent. Years ago, he had a neighbor girl, and she had seen us, you know, hanging out or whatever. She said, "Oh, this your friend, this your boy, whatever." And he said, "Ed, a friend?" He said, "I don't know. We've done music together." He said, "So he's something more than a friend." "Yeah, he's my friend." He said, "But he's something more than that." I said, "You know what? You're right." So that's kind of different. When you created something like a song with somebody, and you know, heaven forbid that the song blow up or people like it or people connect with it or people are talking about it, then that kind of gives you a special relationship with that person, right? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all kind of created something that has taken on a life of its own. So there's that, you know what I'm saying? And some of my other cats, like I said, cats, you know, some of my, you know, cats who went to like St. Charles and stuff like that, I just draw immense inspiration from these brothers. I got a friend who works for NASA. You know what I'm saying? I got a friend who owns budgets. You know what I'm saying? These brothers have done huge things, big things. You know what I'm saying? So they just, and whenever I look at them, I say, you know what, there it is. And they would say the same thing to me, Ed, if I did it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no reason to sit here and act like you can't do nothing, because look what I did. Look where I've come from. And some of my boys, I know where they've come from. So to see what they're doing now, chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my little tangent on that. But find your crew, and maybe sometimes your crew is multiple crews like your boy, right? Anyway, moving on. Abide by the 80% rule. 80%, 20%, that's life, right? So I used to watch Storage Wars, and the guy said we live by the 80%, 20% rule, which means 80% of the time we ain't gonna find nothing. But 20% of the time, makes up for that 80%, because this is going to be something head over heels. 20% of the time, we're going to find like maybe some gold bullion, or, you know what I'm saying, $1,000 in Louis Vuitton or Birkin bag purses or something crazy like that. So see what I'm saying? It's the 80%, 20% rule. That is life. Most times in life, you're going to put in 80% effort and only get, 20%, you know what I'm saying, takeaway or whatever. It is what it is. When businesses send out flyers, right? They send out let's say they send out 100 flyers. They know that maybe 20 people will get back to them. Maybe. It might be more like 5-6 people, but out of that 5-6, somebody gonna refinance a home or something crazy like that. It's gonna make thousands, right? So it was still worth it. So that's the 80%, 20% rule, ladies and gentlemen. So there's that. Anyway, it says this is number 7. Put your loved ones first. That's a big one. Put your loved ones first. Man, cats out here making all this money, getting all this jewelry, getting all these worldly possessions. What about your mom? What about your dad? When's the last time you checked on them? Because in a minute here, they won't be here, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? We all must shuffle loose this mortal coil, and we don't stay in touch enough. Once again, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. Talking to me. Gotta stay in touch with loved ones, and that's more important than anything we're doing. I understand we all gotta make money. Lord knows, do I get it. You know what I'm saying? But we also have to step back and text people once in a while. I was just at a bachelor party last night, and I was having this conversation with a young man I worked with a million years ago. This guy's doing extremely great. He's a success story, which does not happen often in a career of working with kids for 30 years. Doesn't happen often. This guy's a success story. So we're talking, you know what I'm saying? And he was even talking about that too. You know what I'm saying? How, what's more important than family? What is more important than family? I asked him why why he really liked where he lived. He said because the schools are good, and that's important when you're a parent. Heck, that's probably 90% of the game when you're a parent. Where we gonna live? Where are the schools decent or good? See what I'm saying? So family first. Family must come first. Anyway, moving on. It says number 8. Find a place you belong. That kind of goes with find your crew, but find a place you belong. Find somewhere you fit in, and that could be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be a job. It doesn't have to be a home. Maybe you belong to a rugby group. Maybe you belong to a group of guys who plays pickleball on Sunday afternoons. If that's a place where you fit in, if that's a place where you belong, if that's a place where when you speak up and add your opinion, people want to hear it, and you're validated, and they have respect for you, and you feel happy when you're there, boom, you have found your place. All right. Number 9, know your why. That's a huge one. Know your why. What is the reason you get up in the morning? Now look. I'm not gonna lie. I got bills to pay, ladies and gentlemen, right? And I got kids to feed. So, of course, I get up and I do what I do because it turns a buck. You have to on this planet. How else are you going to sustain a living, right? But you also want to like what you do. Now, for years, I'd always held true to that, even when I was younger. I started out as a job developer, so I did that for 15 years, and I was going hard, and I loved every minute of it. I've talked about it on this show, working with kids in the community, getting them jobs, working with kids' treatment plans, working with net care, going to these different group homes, seeing about these kids, making sure that these kids who were indigent, had nobody, had somebody who they could call and could maybe come and see about them and help them have a little easier life. I did that for 15 years. I loved every minute of it, right? But then things happened, and I kind of got the big ideal in my head that maybe I don't want to work with people no more. Maybe I don't work with kids no more. And I left it. And it was all right. You know what I'm saying? I did some things, and it was okay. But needless to say, I had to get back. I had to get back to working with people. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is you really know when somebody knows you because my woman had said that to me. You know what I'm saying? For about 2 years there, 2.5 years, maybe even 3 years. Probably, yeah, probably more like three. What am I talking? Probably more like 3.5 years. I was, I was just working in different places, and it wasn't anything that was like social service or working with kids and stuff, right? Kind of getting away from that. I thought I didn't want to do it anymore, and I'm a pretty pleasant person. And a really good actor, right? So I don't like it really when people can tell that I'm upset about things. But you know what I'm saying? When I finally and I think I've even told that story on the show too, how I was riding and guy on NPR was like, if you don't like your life, change it right now, this minute. So that's what I got in my head. I said, man, let me get a job at a daycare, and I started moving back towards what I'm doing now. When all that started happening, that's what my woman said to me. She said, I'm so glad that you got back into social work and work with people because you were so depressed and so unhappy. And that's when somebody knows me, because like I said, I'm a good actor, ladies and gentlemen, but I couldn't put on a front for her. She knew I was not happy. And I wasn't, because it just wasn't me. Some of us are born to help others. I guess I'm one of those people, you know what I'm saying? So, and then crazy enough, when I did get back to it, you know what I'm saying? Won't he do it? The Lord bless. I'm making more money now than I ever have, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, what I do is tough now. It's tough, but I'm compensated pretty well for it. So it's all right. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on, I'm running. The time is growing nine. I'm not done yet. I ain't done yet, because I've been talking about a lot of social type stuff, but now I want to get into some real life politics. And I'm gonna get into it real quick, because I can see I didn't ate up a lot of time going off on tangents. So check this out. My last point: the GOP hates kids. Why would I say that? Listen, here's why. Hillary Clinton said, what's wrong with these people? 15 states are rejecting a new federally funded program to give food assistance to hungry children during the summer months, denying benefits to 8 million children across the country. The $2.5 billion program is slated to start in June and is expected to help 21 million youngsters. GOP governors have cited various reasons for turning down the aid. What are these reasons? They must have some really good reasons for not wanting poor kids to eat. Let's see. Some say they don't want to duplicate different but similar programs that already exist. Other Others say giving families preloaded EBT cards would do nothing to promote nutrition at a time when childhood obesity has become an epidemic. Since when did the GOP or any other Republican walk into plan and give a DAMN about childhood obesity? Really? These people, and that's why, say what you will about Hillary Clinton. Lord knows I'm not in the Hillary Clinton fan club. I was with her. I was going to vote for her. You know what I'm saying? Because she was better than the alternative. Just like I'm going to vote for Joe because he's better than the alternative. But anyway, she was right when she said, what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? They don't want poor kids to eat? That blows me away. How the way I don't know another way to frame that, ladies and gentlemen. If there's some Republicans out there who think I'm being wrong or heavy-handed in my critique of the GOP, please, like I've always said, you in the pushback zone. Pushback, baby, because I love the pushback, but there ain't no pushing back on that. The proof is in the pudding. These people voted against poor kids getting food to eat. Ergo, if you poor, you don't deserve to eat or to live. GOP's words, not mine. Anyway, let me move on. Let me move on real quick before I get out of here. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's talk about my IPA of the week. This right here is 9.9% alcohol. It's Big Juicy Bear Hug. They got a Juicy Bear Hug that I've talked about on the show before, but this is a new one. They got Big Juicy Bear Hug. It's an Imperial IPA. It's 9.9% alcohol. This right here, born in Chicago. These are some really good beers. Goose Island gets it in. I've talked about them on the show before. They have some really good stuff, and this was delicious right here. This was what I gotta say, it was big, it was juicy. It was an IPA. It's a big juicy IPA. Nah, it was really, really good. So you got a little bit of money in your pocket. I think this right here probably ran me about $3-4 though, ladies and gentlemen, because it's kind of like a tall can. It was at 19.2 ounces of pure Imperial Pale Ale deliciousness. But you're going to pay about $4 for it, you know what I'm saying? But it was really, really good. Big Juicy Bear Hug. Yep, from Goose Island. So that's a real good one, man. You got a little bit of money in your pocket. You might want to run down and get one of those. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I see it's drawing tonight right there. It's about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it all up. Happy Easter to you. You know what I'm saying? When you're watching this, Easter will have been today, which will be tomorrow. So happy Easter from Urban Politics. And what can I say, ladies and gentlemen? As always, see you around like a donut.